today's tutorial, we're going to go ahead and look at our looks blocks. The first few blocks can be categorized into two, our say blocks and our think blocks. We have two different say blocks. The first one puts up the hello speech bubble forever on our stage, and the second one places our hello speech bubble for only 2 seconds, and then it disappears. So for 2 seconds and then disappears. This one just displays the speech bubble forever on our screen. The same goes for our think blocks. This one just leaves the thought bubble on the stage forever, whereas this one leaves it only for 2 seconds and then disappears. Next, we have our switch costume blocks. So what this one does is, remember, we have 2 different costumes for our kitty. So if we click on the next costume, it goes to the next costume and then goes in a loop. So if we have 3 different costumes, it's going to go 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. So it's going to go to costume number 2, and then costume number 3, and then our very first costume again. With this block, we can switch costume to a specific costume. So we can switch it to costume A or Abby. We can also name our costumes. So for cat B, we can name it to Running Kitty. So when we come back to this code block, it says Running Kitty, and when we switch it from Abby, we can make it go to Running Kitty. Our switch backdrop basically does the same thing. So first, let's add another backdrop. Let's add an Arctic and a basketball court. So we have 3 backdrops. When we click on next backdrop, it goes back to the first one, then goes to the second one, and then goes to our third one. Same thing with our switch costume block. We have a number of blocks. We have different options we can choose from. We can choose switch backdrop to Arctic, or we can switch it to basketball. We can also set it to next backdrop or previous backdrop or random backdrop. We can change the size of our kitty by 10, so it's going to grow 10 units bigger, or we can set it to -10, which means it's going to get -10 units smaller. Set size to 100% means its default size is 100%, but we can make it smaller by going 30%, maybe a little bit bigger, 50%, or we can go 200% and make it really, really big. Change color effect by 25. Now this one gets a little bit fun. So if we go to our costumes panel, we have our kitty's fill panel. So we can move our slider from left to right, and the color starts from one end to the other, and its value goes from 0 up to 100. So when we say change color effect by 25, that means we're going from 0 all the way to 100. So when we say change color effect by 25, it changes to a different color. That means it's going up the slider. Now, we can also set its color effect to a certain color. 0 means it goes back to its default color, and from its default color, we are going to set its color effect to 52. But if we look at it, if we go to color 52, it's a little bit different than what we have. And that is because we are going to color 52 from this color, from cat's original color, not from color 0. So it makes it a little bit different. We can also change its fisheye effect. And we can also change its whirl. We can change it to be more pixelated. We can change it to be less pixelated. we can change the mosaic, brightness, and ghost. Now, ghost is quite fun to use, especially when we have another sprite. Let's bring in an apple. So when another sprite is overlapping, and we make it kind of transparent, then we can see Kitty through the apple. No, we can see the apple through the kitty. Yes. So that is how it can be used. And clear graphics gets rid of all the graphic effects that we have placed on Kitty. Show and hide is pretty self-explanatory. We are showing our kitty and we are hiding our kitty. Show, hide, show, hide. Go to front layer, go forward one layer. These are pretty helpful when we have more than one sprite. So let's bring in another sprite. I will bring in a banana, place it somewhere over here. Now go to front layer. Conventionally, whatever you press, whatever we click on the very last is going to be on the very top layer. But if we want Kitty to be on the very front layer, we can use this code block to make Kitty be on the very front layer. We can also make it go to the very back layer, or we can set it to go forward a specific number of layers, so maybe just one, or we can make it go 2 layers back or forward. We can also make it go backward 2 layers or forward 1 layer. We also have our round rectangular blocks, and these are helpful in presenting our values. So when we click on the checkbox, it helps us see the costume number that Kitty is on, the size that Kitty is on, which is 100%, and the backdrop number. We are on backdrop number 3. So that is it for our look blocks. We went through each and every one of them and saw how they change our kitty. For this challenge, I want you to script a scene where the hen shouts "cock-a-doodle-doo" when the green flag is hit. The hedgehog gets surprised and shouts "yah." When we click on the egg hatches and the chick comes out of its eggshell. So have a go and see if you can do the challenge task. The answer key will be provided, so make sure you check after you've finished it.